So I'm super excited. I am actually just pulling out of my driveway now, and I am driving up to Atlanta for a Stray Kids concert. So I'm super excited for that because they're one of my favorite bands. So just pulled away from the house and off we go. Oh, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I look all tired because I couldn't sleep last night. I think I fell asleep at 2:30 this morning. But on the plus side, I didn't have to do anything, so I just kind of chilled and then woke up at 6:30 or something like that. But anyways, that's why I look so tired. But I'll put some eyeliner on and change my shirt when I get to Atlanta. So I have a hotel that's close by, so I'm all snuffy this morning. But I have a hotel close by that I will stay in. Ooh, it looks like they're gutting that house and remodeling. For sure, totally gutting that house. Easily distracted, sorry. But anyways, so I'm gonna go straight to the hotel because I can't. My parking lot that I'm gonna be parking in doesn't open until 5, and then it's not like I have to get there super early. I want to get there early enough that I don't have to worry about going through security, or that I can go through security easily. The doors open at 5:30, so it's like I can park at 5, doors open at 5:30, and then the concert is at 7:30. Sorry, you guys get this weird glare. And the concert is at 7:30, so yay. I am headed out. It's gonna be fun. And then I will come back. So today's Tuesday, in case anyone's wondering. So I'm heading out to the concert, driving up there. It's a little over 5-hour drive. I think it's 5 hours and 11 minutes is what it says to the hotel. And it's only 5 to 10 minutes from the hotel to the stadium, because they're doing it at the Braves. I think they're doing it at whatever the Truist Arena or Truist Center or whatever, which is, or Truist Park, that's what it is, which is where the Atlanta Braves play. So that's going to be interesting. So, because it's not a fully covered event, it means it's open. So it's I looked at the forecast this morning, and it looks like it's maybe supposed to rain early today, noonish time frame, so not too far off of what it is right now. But that's it, just a little bit of rain then, and then it's not supposed to rain this evening. So fingers crossed it does not rain for the concert. So getting off onto the highway. My poor little car. I think I need to get a new car, because of course I had to put this much coolant in my reservoir before I could start driving to go up to here. So we'll see how it does with a 5-hour drive, because I haven't driven in for 5 hours straight lately since I did the cross-country trip, and that we basically had to stop every morning before you drove. You had to put coolant in. So we'll see how it does with the 5-hour straight drive that I'm doing right now. I know there's a weird glare right there, but I don't know how to fix it on this. So we are on the road and officially off. But yeah, I was thinking I needed to get a new car. I don't want to get a new car because it's nice not having a car payment and having a car that is 100% fully paid off. But little cop. But I think I do need to get a new car because this one is having the coolant issues where I'm constantly having to add more coolant to it, and I've replaced the reservoir 3 times because the seam on the reservoir just starts to leak, and it's just such a hassle. It's an easy fix. It takes maybe 30 minutes if you have 3 hands to do it with, longer if you're trying to do it by yourself, and then but I think it needs the hoses and the hose clamps replaced, so I'm I should probably try to do that, or at the because the hoses are the original hose, and I've spent a lot of time in hot climates, so I should probably see about doing that and see if that fixes the issue, if I have the clamps replaced and the hoses replaced, but I'm I don't want to have to put more money into it. It's still good in every other way. It's just kind of getting annoying to do that. So I'm do I want to buy a new car or not? That's the true dilemma. I did just get renters into my house in Hawaii, so that will be good because I've been having to pay 2 mortgages since I think January was when my last renters moved out. out, so it's like they paid January rent. But I've basically been paying 2 mortgages, my Hawaii house and then my house here in Florida since then, which that was my whole goal on buying the house here, was to make sure that it was a price that I could still swing both mortgages off of my pay, which I've been able to do. But that was my biggest thing, is I had to make sure that I could do that. Otherwise, I'm not gonna default on a mortgage or anything like that. My hair is gonna find its own today. It's because I haven't cut my nails, so when I was shampooing my hair, I was able to really scratch in there really good with fingernails on the scalp. So my hair is really floofy today. Alright, big old curve. Going from one highway to another. But, anywho, it's really cool. I'm going to be meeting up with a friend from the Discord server. She's going to the Stray Kids concert as well. They're going to the Stray Kids concert as well, and I'll also see them again on Saturday when I go to the concert in Orlando, because that's gonna be fun too. All right, I'm gonna be on this highway for a little bit until I get to the next highway, and then I'll shoot north, do west a little bit, and then I can go north. I had to I wanted to kind of get on the road early this morning, but I couldn't because I would have gotten there at 12:30 if I drove straight through, which I'm going to have to stop for gas because I don't have enough range on my car to go that whole distance on one tank, because it's 325 miles or something like that, and that would be I would have a range of 10 miles left on my car. I wouldn't be pushing it that much because I only have a 9-gallon tank. It's a small car, so I'll have to stop for gas, and I'll probably stop and grab some food on the way. I do have a couple things to snack on with me, and my water, because you can't drive without water. Should have brought my drops. And I have to get batteries too for my light stick, so yeah, that's gonna be fun. Oh, I feel like I'm Michaela talking about Taylor Swift for the concert that she went to there, even though I'm talking about the Stray Kids concert. But I'm super fortunate that I get to go to the concert twice. I get to go to the Atlanta concert and then the Orlando concert. So today's Tuesday, so I'll drive down today, and then or drive up today because it's north of me. It's a 5-hour, 11, basically 5 round up, including the stop for gas. It's gonna be 5.5 hours, which is not bad at all. But a 5.5-hour drive up, chill for a couple hours in the hotel. I had to make sure I left late enough that I could stop at the hotel, that I would get there once check-in was available at the hotel, which is 3 o'clock. So I'll get there, I'll chill in the hotel, kind of rest for a couple hours, and then head over to the park and park. And once I've done that, I can go get in line. And then once I have, because I want to try and get merchandise. If I can get merchandise today, then I will be good for the concert on Saturday. I won't have to worry about merchandise there, because that I'm going to be in line for the VIP sound check tickets. But that's general. I've never been in the pit style before, so we're going to see how that goes. Because the concert in Atlanta, I have actual seats. They're pretty decent seats. They're pretty close to, they're pretty good seats. We'll see how it goes, because I have no concept of how big the park is, because I haven't been to, a baseball, baseball park or whatever they're called in years. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, it's been, a few times in San Diego. I've gone to Padres games in San Diego, so I'll take that back. But anywho, I know you guys are going to have some lovely car noise, road noise, and I apologize for that, but it is what it is when you're driving on the highway and you're just using your phone to film, so yeah, there's that. But anyways, so concerts tonight. The concert starts at 7:30, and you figure it's going to go until 10:30, and then probably by the time I get back to the hotel, it'll be a little after 11, which is why I'm not leaving and starting to drive back tonight. If it was when I lived out in California and I'd go to a concert in the LA area, it was usually a 3-hour drive there and then a 2.5-hour drive on the way back, because concert gets out at 10:30, and then you basically get out of the parking lot, figure by 11ish. And then, you know, you're back home by 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, which, you know, half the time I'm still awake at that time anyway, so it's not like it's super late for me. So this one, 5 hours is pushing it just a little bit, so I'll leave in the morning. So I'll get up in the morning, and then I'll take a shower and then jump in the car. Well, top off my engine coolant, then jump in the car and head on back here. And kind of chill at the house for a few hours. My mom's going to be driving over, so that'll be Wednesday's plan. Chill, drive back, chill for a few hours. My mom will be driving over, and then we're going to drive together to go down to Orlando for a couple days. So we'll spend Thursday and Friday for sure at the park. Probably, maybe also Saturday, or at least like a short day Saturday. We'll have to see how it goes. But Saturday will be the shorter day at Disney, because I have a concert Saturday night, so that'll be that. But it's like 4 hours. Oh, I got something itchy on my nose. It'll be like 4 hours for a little over about 4.5 hours from my parents' place down to Orlando. Which, because she would have to take like back roads for the first half of the drive. And then from my house to Orlando is less than 2.5 hours. It's like 2:10, 2:15 from me down to Disney. So it's like, and it's only 2 hours and 15 minutes to drive from their house to my house. So if she's going to have to drive like 4.5 hours regardless, she might as well drive 2 hours over to me, and then we'll drive together down, so that way we're keeping each other company and not having to do the whole rigmarole of, you know, taking 2 cars down. So that's what we'll do for the Disney trip. We just have to plan what parks we want to go to when, because we're gonna have to take a lot of walking breaks, because my mom tweaked her knee pretty good running on the beach, and I think it was based on like I didn't actually like hands-on diagnose her, but based on her location of pain and all the symptoms, I would say that she most likely has a meniscus tear with a little bit of maybe an MCL strain, but I'm leaning more towards meniscus. So walking long distances is pretty uncomfortable for her. So got her a knee brace to wear while we're down there. She's going to get treated though. She's going to get treated. She started a treatment plan for it. And then we're going to, and it's not that her knee gets super painful while she's walking. It's just that it hurts enough that she limps, and then her back starts hurting because she's limping. And that's what limits her. And she has to sit down and rest it for a while. So we're going to take it easy, go nice and slow at Disney. We're not going to try to like walk all over creation, because she's not going to tolerate that. And I'm like, worst case scenario, yeah, I get a wheelchair and push her around. And she's like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, well, hey, if it works, it works. So that's our backup plan, is push her around in a wheelchair. Or have it where if she starts to get where she can't walk, then use the wheelchair. But otherwise, we're just going to take it easy, do a lot of like the shows, and you know, there's going to be some rides that I go on that she doesn't go on because she gets motion sickness. So there's some rides that she's most definitely not going to go on that I'm going to be like, I want to go on that ride. So those, when I'm waiting in line for those rides, she will just sit, and she'll find a bench to sit on and wait for me. And that's what she'll do during that time period. So that's kind of like the agenda. The cool thing, we can get Florida resident tickets, so we don't have to pay, you know, the normal price. We can get the Florida resident Summer Magic, whatever thing, which is like, I think it ends up being $60 a day for Disney tickets. like a lot diagonal / across the road from them, that's smaller but a few acres, was also for sale. And when they like had showed pictures of where their place and like the lot and all of that, they're so remote, like middle of nowhere kind of a thing. When they sent that to some really good friends of theirs back in Kentucky where they moved from, their friends were like, you know what, we really like how that looks down there, and ended up buying the lot kind of across the road from them. So now they're in the process of transitioning, their friends are in the process of transitioning down there full time. So it's like they're friends that people they've been friends with for years now. They've lived in Kentucky for like 9-10 years, and they met them in Kentucky. And then now, you know, they've known them the entire time they've been in Florida, which is I think like 2.5, almost. This summer is 3 years, I think, in Florida. And it's just so funny because they moved down, their friends moved down, and then their friend's daughter and son-in-law their son-in-law just got out of the military recently, so now he's been trying to figure out what he wanted to do. He wanted to go into a lot of like the cyber security type jobs, but with the way politics are going, a lot of those jobs have been cut. A lot of those government jobs have been cut, so he's like, well, he needs something to do. So my dad like met with him, and they chatted and talked and everything, because my dad's been so busy with his job that he hasn't been able to, he's got like weeks long backlog of people that he needs to work on their RVs for. So he's gonna go ahead, and so he's actually hired this young guy to work with him, so they can actually he can have help with some of the jobs, so it'll make things go faster. So he's doing a lot of training, and then once he's fully trained, then he'll be able to send him out to do some jobs on his own, and that will kind of shorten the queue that my dad has, and then kind of like free it up a little bit. So that's basically what he's doing right now. So he doesn't want to miss working because he needs to, you know, do the jobs and get paid. But he's living across the road for him. So, but that's basically the lowdown of all of that. I'm trying to think of what else. Yeah. So my dad's not coming down with us to Disney this time. My brother's work schedule is way too busy. He's not really going to be able to take any leave. I think he said he was going to try to take a week off in July, but just stay local there in Washington, and just chill and recover before he deploys again, because you know he's deploys a lot, and he's been gone more than he's been here. I think this past so far this year. But yeah, so I think that's kind of the gist of where we're at for all of that. So it's just gonna be my mom and I, but we're gonna take our time. We're gonna go slow, lots of rest breaks, go to like walk a little bit, do different rides, rest as needed, and jump on the go to the shows. So those are great rest breaks. If I'm on a ride that she doesn't want to go on, then she's gonna sit and chill on a bench, and we're gonna pregame her with some with meds, so that way she's got it in her system and it stays in her system rather than trying to play catch up on it when it already hurts. But part of her treatment plan, she's not allowed to take any NSAIDs, like ibuprofen or anything like that. So, but she can take Tylenol because that's just a straight pain reliever. It doesn't have any anti-inflammatory properties. So that is the agenda. I thought this was going to be a short little clip, but I've already been talking for 20 minutes. So yes, you guys get a really long vlog, and I will update you guys later, probably as I go to the concert, or something to that effect. We'll see. But I'll update you guys later on what's going on as I get closer to Georgia and to Atlanta. Well, I'm not that far from Georgia. I think where I live is like maybe 45 minutes from the Florida-Georgia line. So it's not that far to Georgia. But anyways, that is all for now, and I will catch you guys in the next little clip, which is going to be like instantaneous for you guys. So I don't know why I say I'm going now, because that's just silly. But anyways, back to driving. Oh my goodness, it feels like it's been forever since I did this. So it is currently, oh gosh, what is today? Thursday. Last time I filmed was Tuesday, while I was driving up to the concert in Atlanta. It is now Thursday. I just finished day 1 at Disney World. We did Animal Kingdom today. But I was going to film on the way home from the concert yesterday morning, but ended up not actually doing that because I went to film and like my camera was just going from the motion of the road, and I didn't want to make everybody motion sick. So I didn't do that. And also it was like I was getting this weird glare in that upper corner of my screen. And I just realized that that's coming from the fact that my screen protector has a big crack on it because it has jumped out of my hands onto the concrete multiple times. So it has a crack right across the selfie camera. So anyways, the concert was absolutely amazing, absolutely incredible. I had such a blast, and they put on a fantastic concert. I was front row. The section I was in, I was the front row of not the floor, but the starting the incline up in the park, because it was at the Atlanta Braves Truist Park. But I was the first row, not on the floor. Great seats, but it's a massive venue, so also, even though I had great seats, it was like everything was so far away. And because it was a baseball stadium, they had those the net to stop the balls that was like in front of me, so I basically had to look through the net, and I was close enough that you actually could really see the net as you were looking through, so that was annoying. But the concert was incredible. I had a blast. The venue did not do a very good job of like navigating and like organizing, like, here's the line you need to stand on for here, here's the line you need to stand on for here. They did not do that very well. It was basically, doors were supposed to open at 5:30. They finally opened them at 6 o'clock, and in the process, it was like you're standing in a line that you've been in for, however long, and they're like, oh, well, actually this line is for this. And I'm like, but you didn't have any signs saying this until you're literally at the front of the line is when you see that you're in not the right line. So it was annoying. It was tedious. They did delay the concert about half an hour, so that way they could actually get everybody in, because they were so atrociously slow, and they didn't open the doors until half an hour late. But anyways, so concert was incredible. I'm really looking forward to Saturday's concert, where I'm actually going to be in the down in the pit on the VIP sound check area. So that's going to be fun. It will definitely be much closer. I will have a lot of standing. That's going to be the interesting thing. I will probably be like, okay, done sound check is over. I'm going to sit my carcass down on this ground in this spot and wait until 7:30 when the concert starts. Because sound check's at 5. And because there's no seats, it's standing room only for the pit. But it's going to be fun. I'm going to enjoy it. It's going to be fun. It's an experience. Anywho, so Wednesday morning, woke up, drove back down about the 5-ish hour drive back down to Florida, and chilled for a few hours. And then my mom got there, and we were going to leave to Wednesday night, last night, to head down to here to Orlando. But we were just like, why don't we just get up early in the morning and drive down in the morning? So we woke up at 5, left about, we woke 5:15 or so is when we woke up. Left around 5:45, 6 o'clock, after we did everything we needed to do in the morning, and started trekking down here, and got here. There was some bad traffic, east of, it was east of Orlando. Between Daytona Beach and Orlando, there was some gnarly traffic with a really bad accident that was backing everything up by 15-minute delay or something like that. So that took a little bit longer, but we got here, parked at a little after 9, and then, got into the park and, blah, 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 went to our first ride and kind of went through everything. Had so much fun. Oh my goodness. I haven't been to Disney and Disneyland I've been to a few times in the last few years, because I've lived in Southern California 3 times now. So I've been to Disneyland a few times, but Disney World I haven't been to for a solid 20 years, not since I was in senior year of high school, and I graduated in 2005. So 20 years. It's been 20 years since I was at Disney World, and to me Disney World is the standard, because that's what I grew up going to. But yes, so we went through Animal Kingdom today. We went through that today, and then tomorrow we're going to do Hollywood Studios, and then maybe hop over to another park for the afternoon evening-ish time, because we got the park hopper pass. Saturday I will be waiting in line all day for a concert, so that will be Saturday, and my mom brought some art stuff to do here in the hotel room on Saturday while I'm doing my concert, and then she can recover, because she injured her knee a little bit ago. And she's being treated for it, but it's pretty gnarly, and she can't walk very far before it starts bothering her. So I convinced her to get that we're going to get her rent a scooter tomorrow. When we get first thing when we get to the park, we're going to rent a scooter for her, so that way, you know, she can scooter those distances from ride to ride and not have to try to walk those distances, because they're long distances for her. And so we're gonna do that, and then she'll park it in like the scooter stroller parking. We'll go get in line for the ride and do the ride. Some people do their scooters right up until they get on the actual ride itself, but she doesn't want to do that. So the compromise is get the scooter, use the scooter from like place to place, and go from there. So that's the plan. But anywho, so that's the agenda for tomorrow. And then try to think of, try to think of everything else. Oh, I've already got like 2 releases that I really want. One is an absolute must-have for Saturday. That's the Jeremiah Kettner. I absolutely have to have the Jeremiah Kettner because it's bunnies and it's perfect and I love it. And then the other one that I want is the Nanachi, the Puffy Gator, because it's a Pomeranian, and we raised Pomeranians, and that Pomeranian reminds me of our last one, Bear, who we lost him back when my parents still lived in Kentucky, at the second house in Kentucky, because they lived in 3 houses in Kentucky. So I think that was the second house. But anyways, it reminds me of our last little pom that we had. But I think that's kind of like the gist of everything. I will try to remember to actually film a clip for you guys tomorrow, like as we go get to the park. If I remember, I will also insert like photos of time in the park and all of that fun stuff. We'll see if I remember to do that or not. It's kind of hit or miss if I remember when it comes time to actually edit this video to go up. We will see. But anyways, that is all I have for you guys for today, and I will see you in the next clip. So this right here that you're seeing as I spin around is basically the view that I had. So right behind me, that whole area is like stage. So it kind of stuck out, went straight out, and then it kind of made a Y at the end. But it was like super up close. Hardly had to zoom my camera at all to have amazing video clips. Okay, so I know it's been a minute since I checked in as far as like days. So it is currently Saturday night. And I am just leaving. Yeah, see, these are my driving at night car glasses. They're like a really janky old pair of glasses. Look at how mangled and bent they are. They're like even bent outwards because they live in my car in like 120-degree heat. It's ridiculous. So anyways, the concert just got over, and I am currently trying to get out of this parking lot, which is going to take forever to do. It's not going to be something that happens quickly. It's going to be a very long process to get out of this parking lot. So I'm going to be sitting here for a hot minute. So I figured this was the perfect time to do my update of my vlog, so that way I can try to get this sucker up hopefully tomorrow, i.e. Sunday. It's a little bit day late, but I wanted to kind of like have that touch point of what all I did in the last 2 days, because I think I touched base like after the first Disney day, which we did Animal Kingdom, and we had so much fun at Animal Kingdom. And then yesterday being Friday we started off, we were gonna go to multiple parks, but I'll get to that. We went to Hollywood Studios, and I forced my mom to rent a scooter, one of those little like ECV scooters, because she was limping pretty bad by the end of the day on Thursday. So I was like, well, Friday it's gonna make it easier if you just get a scooter. So forced her to get a scooter. She did. We went in and we rented the scooter first thing in the morning, and it was one of those things that I'm so glad that we did, because she did so much better. Because it was like she would scooter, and then she didn't take the scooter on the rides. She didn't want to do that because she didn't want to have to try to navigate it around those little narrow like zigzag queues. But she did do the scooters, and then she would like park it and then walk through like the waiting line for the rides that we would go on. But did that, and I'm so glad that I made her do that, because she survived the day much better. And we also cruised through everything a lot faster. We hit up like all of the Star Wars rides first. We did those first, and like the new, I think it was like Rise of the Resistance, was absolutely awesome. That was a really cool. That was probably like top up there as far as ride wise. It was really well done. Love that one. So if you haven't been to Disney World recently, since they've like updated things, that's a ride that you want to go on at Hollywood Studios for sure. So we did all of the Star Wars rides, and then we went from there, worked our way through, got some food, and then we hit up like the Villains show, Rock and Roller Coaster, and then like Tower of Terror. We're gonna do another show or two, but by the time we got done with Tower of Terror, we're like, we're tired. So we ended up calling it at that point. And then we just kind of headed back, and our plan was going to be to like come back, rest for a couple hours, and then go to Epcot and kind of like tool around Epcot and like the different countries for a while. But we got back and to rest, and like my mom like crashed hard, and she slept for probably like a solid 2.5, 3 hours. And by the time she woke up, it was like 7 o'clock, and I was like, well, the park doesn't close until 9. We could go back, but I was like, I'm kind of tired. I don't really want to go. So I was like, we'll just chill. So we just continued to chill there, didn't do anything. And then, I'm gonna put my car in park since this is taking forever. Oh, my tag on my pants is being weird. Or my shorts. So ended up, doing that, chilling, and then we got up this morning because I conveniently didn't even think about planning ahead for this trip, so I didn't have like all of the things that I could have had for like the concert. These glasses are driving me bonkers because look at how crooked they are, but they're my nighttime driving glasses. I literally only wear them in my car when I am driving at nighttime. That's it. That's literally the only time I wear these glasses. But we got up, we went to Walmart so I could get like a clear stadium bag to put my stuff in since I planned to be here like all day. And got, okay, I'm not gonna actually get a chance to move forward, which is kind of silliness. But basically got the bag, got some snacks, got some bottled water because I could take bottled water with me. And then came back, I ate a little bit because we picked up some food for eating. I ate and then jumped in the car and headed up to the stadium for the concert so I could get in line to get my VIP pit because I was in the VIP pit for this concert. So had to do that, got in line for that. Oh my goodness, when I tell you that it's like the timing that I got there was like the worst possible timing, in the fact that where they were handing out these, basically they had run out, but like I didn't even know they were handing them out. So I just went and was like, okay, where does VIP pit go for check-in? And I was directed to where I needed to be. Got there, got in line, did my check-in, got my VIP badge, my VIP like packet and all of that stuff. And then it was like, okay, but where do I get my wristband? And they were like, oh, well, you should have gotten it when you came in. And I was like, nobody gave it to me when I came in. I like walked up and there was nobody there. They're like, okay, well, you need to go down here and then there and go down and then like take a left on Tampa and you'll be able to find it. So I was like, okay. So I walked down there. Nobody was giving away bracelets. So I literally spent probably 30 to 40 minutes wandering about trying to asking like staff members where I could get this VIP bracelet, because I had to have a bracelet in order to get in. And it was like nowhere. Could not get it anywhere. It was ridiculous. Finally, it was like, okay, well, finally I got like somebody who directed me to the right person who was it. And at that point, they actually had them back up where I did VIP check-in. Initially, they were handing them out to people as they went in line. And I'm like, I could have had a much higher number if I had been given this right when I got there. Because it was like, I think I ended up with like 491, which means I had to wait till I was in the 400s to be able to enter and get in line and all of that, because that dictated your order for the VIP line. Well, it was ridiculous. I was like, I could have been like so much faster, so much earlier than this, but oh well. I still had an absolute blast, and I still had like really good seats, because anywhere in the pit was like phenomenal, like viewing area. Like it was one of those things where some of the stuff I actually had to go to widescreen angle on my phone to be able to film everything, what I wanted to film. And then for the majority of the time I was at like just 2x, so not even very far zoomed in, and that was just so I could see more of like the expression on their faces. And then from there, like I could get like super close up and do like a 5x if I wanted to, but I was like, most of my filming was done at like 2x. It was crazy close, crazy awesome. I literally moved one car length forward this entire time. That's it, one car length. But yeah, so did that, and then after the before we could so finally got my VIP merch. So I got the shirt that I'm wearing right now, my white Dominate. I was not gonna buy black because there's no way I was gonna have to wear black down here in Florida, but I bought my Dominate white t-shirt, and then I also got a jersey, the Dominate jersey for Stray Kids. That's the band I was seeing, Stray Kids, in case you were wondering and you didn't know. But got that, and then I proceeded to go sit in the grass because they wouldn't start lining everybody up. I'm tired, as you can tell. They weren't starting to line everybody up until like 2 o'clock. So it was like, well, by that point it was like 11:30, 11:45. So I just kind of chilled in the grass. Well, actually, I chilled in the grass for a little bit, sat there for a while, wandered about, went to the bathroom. Because the stadium is right next to a couple parks, and the parks actually have like public bathrooms. So I was able to use a public bathroom and not have to use a porta potty. And then from there, I walked to my car and dropped off all of my stuff that I felt like I didn't need in my car. And I had been using an umbrella kind of throughout the morning because to block the sun from blinding me. You can see I still got a lot of sunburn, and I applied sunscreen like literally every hour. Literally every hour. And my face was not exposed to the sun. But it was literally that hot. But did all of that and got to my car, dropped the stuff out the car, and then I was like, you know what? Let me just go ahead and grab my hat. I had like my sun hat that I wear for like being out in the sun for events and things like that, i.e. like at Disney. So I put my hat on, wore my hat, because I was like, I'll do that instead of having to have the umbrella. So I did the hat, and I'm so glad I had my hat, because then rather than having to do the umbrella, I just had the hat. And it was just so ridiculously hot and sunny today. It was like every time there was a cloud, everybody was like, ah. But at 2 o'clock is when they started letting everybody line up, and they were lining them up in groups of like 0 to 50, and then 50 to 100, and then they kept lining people up that way. And like I said, because of the fiasco with this, I was like number 491, so it took a hot minute. But I eventually got in line to get in, and then once I was in, or once we stood in that line, we stood in that line until they opened the doors. And they didn't open the doors. Well, they finally started letting us through there like 3:30, 4 o'clock, somewhere between there is when they started letting people like into the stadium so they could line up inside the stadium, but not yet go onto like their location. But we got inside the stadium, which I was like, okay, perfect. I grabbed like a couple bottles of water and a bottle of Gatorade, so that way I could have something cold to drink and also replenish my electrolytes. So I grabbed that, and then like I said, grabbed the Gatorade, grabbed the water, and then proceeded to wait in this next line. But at least we were inside for this line, and you could know by then we were like completely drenched. We'd been drenched for hours. I'm like still sweaty, even though it's been cool for a while now, but drenched in sweat. Finally was able to they finally around 4ish or so, I think, started to a little after 4, somewhere around in there, opened the interior doors to let everybody go inside. So we got inside, and then we could go down there, and I had kind of like was hanging out with a couple women that we were basically had been in line the entire time and everything. So, and they were like right around my age, and none of us wanted to go get into like the the 10 to 15 people deep mash pit line or so. That was just like chaos right against the barricade, because everybody wanted to be against the barricade so they could be really close. And I was like, I don't want to do that. So I was like, nope, not doing that. And proceeded to, so instead of being at they're barricaded or whatnot, I ended up doing, finally, it was just kind of like in a spot where I could sit down on the ground, but we had to like pour water out on the floor that they had put down in the stadiums that people weren't on, like the turf, to destroy the turf. So I was late. So it was like I wanted to sit down, and the girl next to me, she wanted to sit down, so we had to like sprinkle water on the floor so that we could actually cool it off enough that we could tolerate sitting down. So we did that, sat down, and once we were sitting, it was like, oh my god, this feels so much better to be able to sit, but now we just need the sun to go away. And I kept reapplying sunscreen because we had another hour until the sound check started at 5, so we had to wait until 5 for the sound check. So we do that, wait until the sound check goes, do the sound check. Oh, I'm moving forward like 5 feet, yay. Did the sound check, and then after sound check started at 5, it was short, not super long or anything like that, and then we had to wait until 7:30, which is when the concert started. But thankfully right around like 7-ish or so. It was like 6:30-ish or so. 6:30 to 7 is when the sun got, somewhere around in there is when the sun was low enough that it was being blocked by the bleachers behind us. Because thankfully I was on the west side of the stadium, and it was like, oh my God, thank God this is like going down, because I needed that to really, I really needed that to like cool me off, because it was just so blazing hot and we were just so roasting as we were like there. And once it finally went down a little bit or got behind some clouds, I like laid down on the ground because I was tired and, you know, just needed to rest from being in like either a sitting on the ground or a standing position. So did that finally, and then there was the concert, which was, oh my God, it was absolutely incredible. It was like, it felt like a completely different experience than the concert that I went to on Tuesday, and that was because this concert I was down on the pit in that like VIP pit area, so that was super cool. By this point, you know, it's like the concert started at 7:30, got done at 10:30, so it literally ran for a full 3 hours this time. It was about 2:45 or a little bit less than that, somewhere around in there for the last, for Tuesday's concert. But did the concert, it got done at 10:30. At that point, I had now been at the stadium for a full 12 hours. But oh my goodness, it was so good. So now I'm in that whole, I'm exhausted, I'm tired. Now I need to get back to my hotel, which is going to take absolutely forever to do because I'm nowhere near out of this parking lot. It's going to take a hot minute to get out of this parking lot, I tell you. So yeah, but once I'm out of the parking lot, then life will be good, because then I can zoom. I've got so much sunburn. I was trying to constantly reapply sunscreen to protect my tattoos because I didn't want to get like sunburn on my arms. I was reapplying there, reapplying on my face, started reapplying on the back of my legs, on the calves, because I was wearing shorts, so I did them on my calves. When we got inside the stadium, that heat was bouncing up off that floor that they had down. So I started putting the sunscreen on my top of my feet, because the top of my feet and my toes were getting sunburned at that point. And then when I sat down on the ground, I was like, I'd been sitting down for 10 or 15 minutes and I'm like, oh my gosh, my thighs are roasting. So then I had to apply the sunscreen to the front of my thighs. It was ridiculous. The cool thing though, they did actually have water for us in that like VIP area. So you could just, because it was so blazing hot. So I'm glad they did, because otherwise there probably would have been a lot of heat casualties. So I drank my waters. I think the only thing I have left out of all the waters that I had was like this much. And that's because I barely drank out of this bottle, because I had one of the big bottles that I ended up filling with the cold water from the big like thermosy, the big vats of water that you get at events. They were doing that. They had that in cups set up so that way people could, in the VIP pit, that we could actually get cold water that way, which was wonderful. But needless to say, oh my gosh, the concert was amazing. It was like being so close. I love it when you're close enough that you can like see the expression on their faces when they're singing, when they're doing things. That's what's super awesome, being able to do that. So anyways, that's about all I have for concert updates. It's now, it's late. It's like 11:10. I've moved maybe 20 feet total. Well, a little bit further than that. But I've made very little progress. It's probably going to be like at least another hour before I'm out of here. It's going to take a hot minute. But once I get out of here, then I can drive back down to the hotel, which is like a 30-ish minute drive with no traffic. We'll see how it looks with, it's like 18 miles or something like that to that part of Orlando. Because our hotel is on like the south side of Orlando. But gonna drive down, and then I need to eat something. I do have some food in the back of my car that I could totally grab and eat. And I'm like, which we're moving so slow that I could totally do that. So I think I need to grab the food out the back of my car, eat that. So, and then continue, and then drive slowly and gradually. We will see. But yeah, we're just like definitely not moving. Because unfortunately, since I was one of the first cars to park in this parking lot, I'm in like the back 40 of this parking lot. So I have to wait for everybody else to leave before I can leave, kind of a thing. Because you know that trickle effect of, and it just takes forever. So it's a process. But anyways, I did buy the only diamond painting news I have for you guys. While I was waiting in line, I had set an alarm on my phone because I'm like, if I don't set an alarm, I'm totally going to forget because it's going to slip my mind because I'm going to be at the concert. And I did buy the Jeremiah Kettner because it's Jeremiah Kettner and it's a bunny. You know, I'm a year of the rabbit. So I bought that one. And then I also bought the Yume, obviously, because those are like two of my must-have artists. So I snagged those. And that's it. That's all I have for you guys for today. And I hope you guys enjoy this like a random eclectic vlog with like long random clips. And I will see you guys in the next video. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.